This slide presentation was prepared for the Wholesale Investor Showcase held on September the 17th at the offices of PricewaterhouseCoopers in Sydney. The offer for Australian Sports Health and Relaxation Limited was presented by Kevin Murphy, the Managing Director. Unfortunately, due to a technical glitch, the slides were not shown on the day. My name's Joe Leal. I'm the advisor working with the company on this investment. We've all seen images of the mining boom and thought, how can I get in for my share with the right timing? Which mining company should I invest in? Let's go back a little in history. Who made the most money out of the gold rush with the least risk? Was it these adventurous miners who put all on the line? Which of these pictures defines the mantra of the prudent investor? Low risk and high return. Just like in the gold rush, where the best investment was in the supply of equipment and services to the miners, so it is today with the Australian mining boom. And this is our opportunity for you. Of course, we have to tell you that under Section 708 of the Corporations Act, that this is an offer for sophisticated and professional wholesale investors. Our property is located just 63 kilometres from Mackay in the Isaac local government area and on the Peak Downs Highway right at the gateway to the Bowen Basin, with 34 current coal mines and more proposed commencing soon. We're ideally located between Mackay and Moranbah, which is the centre of the mining in this Bowen Valley area. Here's a clearer view of where the property is. The area is called Epsom, but there's no actual village as such, it's just a locality. Here's a snapshot from a presentation by the Queensland University on population outcomes from the continued growth of the mining in the area. Of the more than $114 billion in capital expenditure plan of this continued growth in central Queensland, nearly a quarter is for Isaac Shire. While a quarter of the construction jobs are in the Isaac Shire, just under half of the operational jobs, the longer term ones, will also be there. While Mackay itself may grow, there is just nowhere for permanent residents in the Isaac Shire to go. While Mackay's population will grow at double the rate of the previous decade, look what is happening to house prices. Exponential growth. So what's the accommodation alternative for the mine worker? Fly in, fly out, drive in, drive out. Here's some images from a recent ABC rural TV show. For those of you who are not aware, the quality of accommodation for mining workers in these remote locations can vary. But a donga is not ideal for downtime after a long, hard day's work. And the definition of a donga is where someone sleeps and keeps their personal stuff. This can be anything from a properly constructed one, as we see here in the camps, or a converted container, a couple of bunk beds, and providing, in all these cases, a bathroom and laundry facility in a separate building, anything up to 30 to 50 metres away. The directors of Australian Sports Health and Relaxation stumbled on this hidden retreat. It's set back off the highway, hidden by a copse of trees with no obvious signage. In fact, they would never have discovered it except that they were interested in the 2,500 acre property next door for their advanced algae business. This is the picture of what they saw. The present owners have already lodged a development application with the local council, and approval is expected any day. Having already developed the property extensively over the past 4 years, they have a great relationship with the council. Here you can see the proposed extension of accommodation and facility upgrading. On arrival, it looks much like any other typical country-style motel. Here's some of the existing newer accommodation added just last year. Due to the limited resources of the present owner, much of the proposed development was planned to be not unlike the other mining camps. With the capital raising and intention of running the property debt-free, the directors have developed a concept of higher quality of services and accommodation. This is how the new units for the proposed expansion will look. Certainly more appealing to the highly paid mine workers. Here's an artist's impression of how completed the units will look. This proposal adds an additional 200 rooms to the current 107, which are currently enjoying at or near 100% occupancy. As nearly all are contracted long term, there is even a stand-down rate which applies when the rooms are vacant, and they often resold. Recently we had a statistic of 103% occupancy. An immediate addition to the services will be a gymnasium and swimming pool, along with additional services such as physio and massage, as well as on-call psychological services, which I'll touch on in a moment. Additional services offered at the retreat will not be restricted to just our own residents. In order to service the mining camps, we will provide a coach service to pick up and return these miners living in the many accommodation camps within the Bowen Basin. Currently 48,000 miners are employed in the basin. We plan to provide a level of service that is unparalleled in the region and easily afforded by the mine workers, the majority of whom earn in excess of $3,500 a week. Simply with the erection of suitable signage at intervals of 1, 3 and 5 kilometres on the approaches to the hotel publicising a country-style breakfast, we could better utilise the kitchen, which is open from 4:30 a.m, but does not provide catering between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. With 10,000 people movements a day past the door, we can see a dramatic addition to the bottom line of the restaurant. One of the facilities lacking in the area is communications. No mobile reception, no internet unless you have your own satellite modem. We will provide the rooms and also an internet cafe with satellite-based communication system, which can provide access to all free-to-air television stations, pay TV and movies on demand, as you would get in a 5-star hotel. But even more important are the additional services that come with this exclusive system. Video Family Connect is going to be a very important part, because what we have discovered through access to the exit interviews of mine workers leaving the industry, that 55% leave for family reasons, and of those 80% have no other reason for leaving, with suicide rates of 1 a month, as quoted by Professor Alan Fels, Chair of the new Federal Mental Health Commission. This Family Video Connect is going to be an important service that we provide. Along with that, there'll be full internet telephony, teleconferencing for the service companies who provide services to the mining industry, and much more. This is provided via a flat screen on-the-wall TV with touchscreen and wireless keyboard technology. So what makes this opportunity a standout investment? It's an income-producing, asset-backed investment. The property has been profitable for the past 3 years and features major upgrading of accommodation. The gross margin shown in this chart is equal to EBITDA, and it's based on the past financial statements having been normalised by removing the current owner's non-recurring items. The first 6 months of operation will focus on adding income-producing services. Then over the next 6 months, adding the new accommodation rooms in lots of 50 as shown. Even though the hotel is operating at or near 100% occupancy and with pent-up demand, our forecasts are only for 80% occupancy till completion of the expansion phase. The expansion will be followed by a year of consolidation and improving the delivery of services. All these figures are supported by the detailed business plan and summarised in the information memorandum, both of which can be made available to interested potential investors. So what does all this translate into for the potential investor? We're paying dividends at 12% per annum, 6 monthly, while building reserves that allow us to plan further expansion of facilities, such as acquiring the neighbouring property and adding the country club for an even greater income potential and services to the miners and their families. We've put together a powerful team. The founding directors, Kevin Murphy and Brian Hutchings, are both serial entrepreneurs. Brian Hutchings ran the iconic Wentworth Hotel in Western Sydney. In addition to the directors, we have formed an advisory committee which includes Barry Frost, formerly a director of the Master Builders Association of Australia and Cbus Industries Superannuation Fund. His family has 40 years in the hotel business. He developed the Beachcomber Resort at Toukley on New South Wales Central Coast. John Cook has a corporate history in general management at Comelco, One Steel, McNaught, York Equipment as a supplier to the mining industry. In the last couple of years, he's been a consultant to one of the major coal mining companies in Australia on a change management and HR project. Pragati is an architect with local and overseas experience in hotels and resorts. Anka Ramsden is a clinical psychologist and has trained consultants working in the area. Mike Jungens is an award-winning chef and has been involved with the directors and visited the site during the acquisition process. So what's the objective of this capital raising? Initially, $6 million to settle the purchase. We have exchange contracts with 180 days to settlement. We need an additional $8 million to carry out the extensions to the hotel facilities and add the 200 accommodation rooms. We do also have a backup plan B, but our preferred option is the capital raising. So how do we invest? Contact myself to request an information memorandum and application form, either via my telephone number or via email. Thanks very much for your attention.